In this video, I will be teaching you how to do question 2C from paper 1 in two different ways. Welcome to English Step by Step. My name is Miss Wee. I make free video lessons for IGCSE English first and second language. If you need tutoring, you can contact me here, or you can leave a message under one of my videos. Today, we will be doing the May-June 2021 paper 1-3. This is the passage, and I'm going to read the title and the blurb to you. A window on the world, my years with chimpanzees. This text is part of a longer account. The narrator, Jane Goodall, is a scientist and expert in primate behavior, as well as an animal rights campaigner. She has recently returned to the jungle. And here we have question 2C, which carries 3 marks. Use one example. Make sure that you do so. Don't use more than one from the text below to explain how the writer suggests Jane's feelings that day. So make sure you explain how the example shows her feelings. Here we have the extract. A surge of memories flooded back. Gradually, in those days, I had pieced together fragments from their daily lives, feeding habits, travel routes, and social structure. Thinking back, I relived the thrill of watching greybeard fishing for termites with stems of grass, picking a white blade of grass and trimming it carefully so it could be poked into the narrow passage of the termite mound. What a discovery! Humans weren't the only tool-making animals. So that extract comes from this part of text C. You can pause the video to read the text if you want. There are two ways of handling this question. One of the way is to use the peel method, which I have taught in this video. You can click on the link above if you want to get to it. So those of you who don't know what peel is, it's basically a paragraph that uses this structure. So P is for point, E for evidence, another E for explanation, L is for link. In my version, instead of using peel, I use PQEL. So the second E, I've changed it to quotation so that it's very clear that you need to have a quotation here. So let's come back to the question. So I've chosen this phrase here, a surge of memories flooded back. I'm going to start by using the peel method, and then I will also teach you another method, and you can choose the one that you prefer. So here we have the peel method, and for me it's point quotation, and then I have double explanation, and finally the link. So I've chosen the phrase a surge of memories flooded back. So I'm going to start with the point, which is how the writer shows Jane's feelings. So the writer uses a water metaphor. Flood involves water. Surge also involves water. The writer uses a water metaphor to suggest Jane's nostalgia, that's her feeling, when remembering her experiences with the chimps. So I'm going to put the quotation here. It is mentioned in the paragraph that a surge of memories flooded back. The first explanation, the word flooded, suggests the great volume of recollection that returned. Example 2, the word surge shows that it was powerful and sudden. And then I link it back to the point. Jane was probably overwhelmed, that's her feeling, by her intense emotions of nostalgia. So I'm linking it back to the point. If I were to, and now putting it into a paragraph, the writer uses a water metaphor to suggest Jane's nostalgia when remembering her experiences with the chimps. It is mentioned in the paragraph that a surge of memories flooded back. The word flooded suggests the great volume of recollection that returned, and the word surge shows that it was powerful and sudden. You don't have to analyze two words, sometimes there's only one. This metaphor implies that Jane was probably overwhelmed by her intense emotions of nostalgia. So I've basically put this into a paragraph. There are many ways of writing the paragraph. Here I'm going to show you a more advanced one. If you want different ways of writing the paragraph, please go to the video that I showed you earlier on. So here is a more advanced response. You don't need to write a more advanced one, but if you like the challenge, then please have a look at this one. The writer employs a water metaphor to convey Jane's deep sense of nostalgia as she recalls her time with the chimpanzees. The phrase "a surge of memories flooded back" combines two powerful images. The word flooded implies an overwhelming volume of recollections, while surge suggests they returned with such force and intensity. Together, these words evoke the idea that Jane was not merely remembering, but being emotionally engulfed by the vividness of her past experiences. This metaphor highlights how strongly those memories continue to affect her. Now we're going to do a second method, which is very similar to the method I used for question 2D. If you want to watch the video on how to do question 2D, which I also call the writer's effect question, you can click on the link up here. Here is one of the slides from that particular video. And basically, I analyzed the phrase using a table. I would first start with the phrase and I would zoom in on one word to analyze. I would give the literal meaning of that word and then also the implicit meaning. And last of all, I would mention the connotation or the significance of that particular phrase. I will not read this to you because this is from another passage. Coming back to this one, we're going to analyze this one again, a search of memories flooded back, by using that second method. So I had that 6 columns earlier on, if you remember, the phrase, word, explicit and implicit meaning, the device, and the connotation or effect. So my phrase is a search of memories flooded back. So I'm going to choose the words flooded and search as I did before in method 1. The explicit meaning of flooded is overflow of a large amount of water, and surge means a sudden and powerful movement. Now, the implicit meaning is that Jane was experiencing a huge volume of recollections. The device is a metaphor. The connotation or effect is that she was feeling overwhelmed by the intensity of her emotions of nostalgia. So putting this in a paragraph, in the phrase, a surge of memories flooded back, the word flooded refers to an overflow of a large amount of water, while the word surge refers to a sudden and powerful movement. This water metaphor suggests that Jane was experiencing a huge volume of recollections. She was feeling overwhelmed by the intensity of her emotions of nostalgia. So you can see that even though it's a different method, the content is more or less the same. Now let's put them together and you can see that I've talked about her feeling. I've also talked about the effect. So try them both and see which you prefer. I hope that you have found this video helpful. If so, please remember to like, share and subscribe. I have many other videos. Please check them out. And if you need tutoring, you can contact me here. Thank you very much for watching and I hope to see you in my next video.